Hello and welcome to the Mattniverse. Today we're going to further explore HiveSwap Friendsim. Volume 4 is out. Took quite some time, but here it is. Volume 4 of Right and Wronged. Time to find out 2 more potential friends, and maybe a weird fashion like all the rest, because none of them have been kind of straightforward. It's kind of do some weird thing for them, then eventually they become your friend. But maybe we'll see something different, maybe we won't. Fresh from your most recent bout of gratuitous bodily injury and touching scenes of camaraderie, you soldier on. You've had a few setbacks, made a couple of silly choices. Boy, do things just keep happening. But let nobody say that you, the main character, are incapable of growth and change. You have made sure not to be caught in the wilderness near dawn again. You have made your way back to civilization. You can't wait to discover what new adventures await you. Adventures like friendship, of course. So, here are 2 new guys. Tagora, I guess, and Vakir. I don't know how to say that one. Vakir. Probably gonna go with Vakir, but as always, gonna start with the left person first, so Tagora, you're up. You wander down a street in a not too demolished looking part of town, but you don't really take much of it in. You're not looking while you're looking where you're going. This is an elementary mistake, especially on a planet where everything that exists seems to be on a spectrum of engineered specifically for murder to could be a weapon in a pinch, but you've got a lot on your mind. And now, as the car, these guys probably have some ridiculous word for it, but you haven't learned it. You hadn't noticed slams into you, sending you flipping head over feet. You had a few new concerns onto your list, your bones and organs. So the sound of the driver yelling, "Watch out where you're going, lump squirt chugger," fades as they drive away, and you assess your situations. I was about to say you land on your asses or something. You stretch each limb in turn, which, you've got to say, doesn't feel great. You've landed in a bush which is covered in sharp spines. Your arms and legs are still work, though, and when you do an experimental cough, no blood comes out. Pretty lucky, you think. You may have been redefined what luck means by this point in your journey, but you'll take what you can get. You don't figure that much luck will extend to the driver turning around to help you out of this bush. Your gazes meet in sparking an intimate and intense connection that leads you to a beautiful lifelong friendship. But you let yourself hope. After a few minutes of struggle, the answer to your daydreams, I guess, comes into focus above you, a figure outlined by the spiny leaves of your prison and the glow of the moons. The troll you see isn't the driver of the car, but you don't care. Your heart is beating wildly with your continued lucky streak. Hello. You seem to have fallen victim to a collide and scamper with that scuttlebuggy back there. The heck? Introductory fee? Are you kidding? Have you contacted your personal legislature? If not, I'd like to offer my services. Jesus, how much is this going to cost me? My name is Tagora Korjek, I guess. That's not an A, that's an O. But please, call me Gorgor. I'm here for you, for a nominal fee, of course. Is that my name? Am I supposed to put my name in there? He pulls a business card from his sleek teal vest and offers it to you with a precise flick of the wrist. His claw beds are perfect. Okay. You try again to sit up, buoyed by this offer for assistance. He's some type of doctor, maybe, or lawyer. It doesn't matter, really, because he said he was here for you. Those words go right ahead and burn themselves onto the softest chamber of your heart. You start telling him your plight thus far, reaching up through the brambles toward this beacon of hope. This guy seems trustworthy, and that's not just your lack of options talking, you swear. As you shift, what the heck is up with his face? The moonlight shines on you. He steps back briefly, dropping the card. The one eye takes that's not covered by a swoop of product-infused hair opens wide. He recovers, smoothing his hands down his chest and straightening up. clearing his throat as you continue to explain. You're... what? Oh yes, an alien. I knew that. I've done work with aliens before, so your situation shouldn't be an issue at all. God, 200 for that. Oh my god. Everyone derives an equal opportunity to be represented by me. Deserves, not derives. In fact, we may be able to use this in our favor for a larger cash settlement. It all depends on your angle. Jesus, like every word this dude spouts is just adding money. Here, try moving your chug column. Insert name there. I don't think I even have one. I never actually ever stated my name. Should probably get one. You aren't sure why this is necessary, but you wiggle your torso, hoping that's right. You've never wanted anything more in your meager existence than to follow this specific directive perfectly. No, not that. Insert name there. You add a little hip jiggle. Not so much that you might think it's a come on, but enough to say, hey, I'm friendly and I know what the fuck I'm doing. No, you're the thing that holds up your think pan. Work with me. Insert name here. Confusion? You're really gonna add that? Come on. You continue with what you hope is a part of a troll friendship ritual, shimmying various parts of your anatomy deeper into the bush until you get to your neck, and he claps his hands together. There we go. That one hurt, didn't it? Definitely a case of column snap, which can get us a decently hefty restitution. Your neck feels fine, or it doesn't hurt any more than the rest of you, but you give him what you hope is a convincingly painful nod of agreement. Of course, you will need to front the initial legislation costs. We may also have to endure you further to ensure our case is convincing, but you've got to break a few cluck beast embryos to make a grublet. What the heck is all this? As you well know, I do not. 500? Jesus. Yes, I think we can make a mutually beneficial team if you're willing to do what it takes to bring about the justice you deserve. So what do you say? How would you like to help me help you? Insert name here. He's talking really fast, and you're not sure exactly what to think about your lack of funds, or the idea of breaking any more bones. But that smile is sharp and shiny and pointed right at you. You want more of it. Ask him if he does pro bono work. Tell him about the heaps of money you definitely have. Oh, what to do here? Either way, we're gonna go with both, but for the first one... let's tell him to lie that we definitely don't have that. You mentioned how incredibly loaded you are, and how core to your sense of values it is to pay well for good work. That's what we call good business. Now, get up out of that prickle frond, and let's get you presentable. Insert name here. He watches you flail a few times before he sighs, unbuttons his sleeves, and rolls them up to his elbows. Each fold is crisp and even. It takes a while, but you are good at being patient. This is a 12% cost increase for instances of manual labor. It'll all be explained in your bill. 110, of course. Manual labor hike, okay. It's itemized. Oh, thank you. I'm sure an alien of means such as yourself will be able to handle it. Insert name here. You take his hand and he pulls you up and out of the bush. It's kind of a rough job. He's not as strong as he looks, you guess. He glares at you like he is daring you to say shit about it, and you're a quick learner. He cuts you off, mind thank you. Or mid thank you. My office isn't far from here. We can go there to get things started. And by things, I absolutely mean get you clean and sign a lot of vaguely worded yet stringently binding documents. Contracts probably would work too. Insert name here. He walks with a purpose. You shake off the floor stuck in your various body parts and do your best to catch up. From the outside, his office basically just seems like his hive. You've learned a thing or two during this shitstorm of a cultural exchange, though. You gotta play it cool when a potential friend invites you home. You never know what cages or monsters or methods of evisceration they might have lying around. and you want to prepare a nice, chill look on your face for whatever carnage you're about to be confronted by. It's not bad. I mean, I don't understand like half of what the heck this stuff is, but some of it looks okay, I guess. Dangly things, what looks to be like some kind of, I don't even really know over there. It's a weird animal. Okay then. It doesn't work. Your face falls to bewildered hell when you walk inside, because it's all chrome and glass and broad. White walls in there. I guess I should have said that a little faster. It sounded weird when I said that. It's like he bought the fanciest looking crate and barrel display room he could find, down to the last useless minimalist accessory, and then never sat down in it. His Lucis, a ferret. Oh. Kind of forgot what ferrets. I did have a ferret a long time ago, and I kind of just forgot what they looked like. I probably could have guessed that if I remembered. Yeah. Is chilling on an enormous silver thing that's halfway between a throne and a play tower. Everything is clean and bright and at perfect right angles, and you don't see any weapons anywhere. I mean, some of these things are kind of pointy. They could probably be weapons. It's fucking creepy. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. You ask him if he just moved in, because polite conversation seems like maybe the best thing you can do. In the absence of something specific to focus your fear on, you're just sort of a little afraid of everything. You're not paying me to learn my life story, unless you'd like to. In that case, no. I've lived here most of my life. I'll go ahead and add that to your bill, insert name here. Thanks. Oh, 1,500 for a life story? What? That seems like extortion right there. A life story, that should be about maybe 50? Maybe? You stare at one of the chairs. Should you sit in it? By all means. Do not make yourself at home. Okay. Head straight to my, abulation trap while I prepare our contract. Insert name here. You really want to connect with this guy, and you like just how vibed there, where you were thinking about sitting, you bedraggled ass, his fancy chair, and he could totally tell you were thinking it. But you don't want to be friends badly enough to walk straight into something that has the word trap right there in its name without at least pondering it for a second. You become savvier during all this. No entrapment, please. Take a goddamn bath. What? Sure? You are more than a little concerned about the trap part of the instructions you just received, but hey, at least a trap you know about is better than one you don't. And with everything else you can see is so freakishly pristine, he has to be hiding something evil somewhere. You wonder if it's a dungeon. A dungeon could be cool. Okay, bye. The ferret bounds off. Hello. He's just right there. Bounds off down its pedestal and jerks its head at you for you to follow it. You do, because it seems like a regular thing to do. And Tagora is busy on his computer. Huh. Now, this is a pretty nice room. I like the sparkly soap that's over there. What does it do? It leads you to a bathroom, which is just as fancy and clean as everything else you've seen. Delucis chitters at you for a second, squirms its big noodle body around, and leaves, shutting the door behind it. Why, thank you. Excuse me, weird burp there. You wait for a second till it's probably gone before you test the handle. It's unlocked. Huh. You wonder what the point, or, motive, might be for leading you to this room until you turn and see for yourself in the mirror. That is some haggard-looking stuff right there, so... fair. You're flying by the seat of your pants, but you guess maybe you're supposed to take a bath? If not, and he gets pissed and unleashes the ferret on you, at least you'll meet your maker nice and clean. You half expect some indiscriminable goo or blood or something to come out of the faucet in the weird lumpy tub, but thankfully it's just water. Once you're in, you take a look at the truly inordinate amount of bath products you have at your fingertips. There are 3 shelves of little bottles and soaps and unidentifiable lathersome accessories by the tub alone. There's even more by the mirror. The labels are all gibberish, of course, but you sniff a few until you find something flowery and go to town. You take more time than you should in there, but you haven't experienced a moment of luxurious solitude in a bit. Full-time friendship searching can be difficult work, it's good to recharge. Once you've freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe with some lotion you find in an iridescent vial. Is that shiny one over there? You hope he won't mind you using it. He wants you to be presentable, and this stuff is sparkly. You're starting to feel rejuvenated as hell, ready to knock this friendship stuff right out of the park. You leave your dirty, torn up old clothes on the floor, wrap yourself in one of the many satin bathrobes folded on a shelf, head back out and find Tagora. He's standing in his foyer, waiting with the contract he typed up for you. When he sees you, his eyebrow ticks up. I see you went with the Rainbow Drinker Serum, full body application. Bold choice. What is that supposed to mean? What does it do? I mean, it's an incredibly rare and expensive product, and I do expect to be, oh man, remunerated, I guess? But I wouldn't lie, it works. Insert name here. My god, 15,000, yeah, it was expensive, I'll say. Jesus. Yeah, sure, that stuff. You don't want to let on that you don't know what it is, since he seems impressed. Instead, you give his ego a little stroke and tell him you hadn't seen such a sumptuous array of self-care accoutrements in so long that you couldn't help yourself. Not everybody takes skincare as seriously as they should. I assumed you were taking forever in there because you'd gotten lost, or didn't know how to use the abulation trap. Why do you call it that? I hadn't considered the possibility that you were just doing your regimen. Noted. Insert name here. Oh, minus 500. Thank you. That's at least good. He gave me a 500 deductible for that. Thank you. You hold your arms out to admire the well-hydrated sheen you have going on. This time, you're not really even bullshitting. It just does actually look pretty damn good. Tagora seems like he's struggling. He keeps opening his mouth to say something, then changing his mind. He's clutching the documents in his hand like a flotation device. He looks down at them, then back at you. I typically only use that particular product to highlight my cheek blades, but there's no real reason you shouldn't apply it more liberally, especially if cost isn't an issue. It's a little drastic for my personal style, but there is a certain unorthodox glamour to it. Insert name here. The next bit looks like it hurts him a bit to get out. Do you? Would you like to step outside to see the full effect? Insert name here. You bet your ass you would. You're curious about what he means by effect. And this seems like more fun than signing stuff. Probably. Signing stuff is always so boring. He places the documents down on his desk like they're made of glass, not paper. He looks up at his Lucis, who's just sort of on tilts its head to the side. You look away and give them privacy to do whatever eyeball communication is going on. After a bit, Tagora clears his throat and heads toward the door. You don't comment on the bluish flush in his cheeks. For all the shift in his demeanor, he still seems like he might kick you out on your ass if you tried to get too feelingly with him. You start to glow as soon as you step back out into his dark front yard. Not like a light bulb kind of way, but a subtle, ethereal luminescence. What is this stuff? Now that is a look. I mean, there's still the unfortunate issue of your harmlessness and overall aberrance, and the fact that you're still wearing my abulation robe. Of course, abulation robe rental fee, of course, but it's cutting edge, I'll give you that. You look almost like a real one. Insert name here. Like a real one what? You don't know what he means, but you want to roll around eternally in the praise part. You ask him if he will look, if the look will help your case. Oh, right, your case. Of course. Insert name here. He bites his lip and looks back through the window at the papers sitting on the desk where he left them. You hope he still wants to represent you, or at least that he'd want to hang out even if he wasn't going to. You don't get a chance to prod, though, because right then someone rounds the corner on the sidewalk in front of his hive. Tagora's face immediately shudders into its usual simpering mask. There's an edge of panic around his eye, though. Huh. Wow, Gorgek. What we have here. It's a blue-themed troll, which, if you remember right, means he's a fancier guy than Tagora. He's grinning like Troll Christmas came early. You can feel Tagora vibrating out of his skin next to you. Who even is this guy? When he gets up close to get a good look at you, he jumps and screeches, "What the bully bowling fuck?" Tagora is frozen, the corner of his mouth pulled back to show his teeth. The new guy is ignoring him in favor of noticing that you're dressed in Tagora's monogrammed leisure wear. If he looks as of a fascinated horror as anything to go by, you really don't know what that makes you. Oh man, you don't really know what makes you do it. You really wait for Tagora to get himself together and do all the talking, but you're riding the high on him, almost seemingly like he was enjoying your company. Plus, nothing boasts confidence like looking like a beautiful spooky angel. So you toss your head, put your best fancy guy voice, and say, "What? Never seen a real one before?" You're placing all your chips on this guy knowing something you don't. But when his eyes get huge and he starts stumbling over himself to get back down the sidewalk, you know it's paid off. Tagora blinks, then jumps right in, picking up directly where you left off. Surely someone as well informed as you knows a rainbow drinker when he sees one. Insert name here. I have no idea what the heck he's talking about, though. The blue guy doesn't respond with anything more coherent than a string of yelps as he hightails it back the way he came. When he's gone, you turn to Tagora and ask him super casually what a rainbow drinker is. He stares at you in stunned silence. Are you telling me you didn't know? Insert name here. You nod. And that you ran with it anyway, exploiting the fear you picked up on to turn the tide of a delicate encounter to your favor. Insert name here. You shrug. You guess so. You tell Tagora you hope that his friend wasn't too freaked out. Friend? No, I hate that guy. There are simply times when being liked by your betters is helpful. Though technically, fearing me is just as good. As I was about to say, is a good? That doesn't seem right. Better, maybe. So, thank you. Insert name here. Tagora's laugh is soft. It's not a sound you expected to hear. He's happy because of something you did. You can't help it. You started laughing. That was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? It was almost fun. I certainly didn't see it coming anyway. I underestimated you. Insert name here. He gives you an appraised look, then takes a deep breath. You're so nervous all of a sudden. You feel unbalanced on the precipice of what he might be about to say. From one provocateur to another. That's not even it. Prevaricator, I guess? Sounds about close. From one prevaricator to another, I will let you in on something. I haven't actually encountered an alien before. Insert name here. Oh, sweet relief. You tell him his act was airtight, and as long as everyone's doing the truth thing, you admit you lied a bit too. You aren't actually rich. Yes, that's clear now. You have the invaluable ability to fake it, though. That's potentially much better. Why don't we put our case on hold for the time being? You wouldn't have enjoyed the outcome of our legal system anyway. Oh, well, that's good to hear. Even though you're still just adding stuff on. We can find an alternate means of you working off your debt. Oh, great. I think we may make a better team than I previously anticipated. With our wits combined, we can tackle bigger and better things than traffic injuries. Insert name here. He flexes his hand at his side, then in one swift and decisive movement, he extends it out to you. On his face is something close to an honest-to-God, real-ass smile. I've never actually formed a legitimate partnership of any sort before, but I believe this is how it goes. What do you say? Insert name here. The glow in your heart shines brighter than any expensive and still kind of mysterious lotion. You take his hand in a firm, no-nonsense grasp of pure, inexorable joy and shake it. There we go. Signing away, just friendship. It works though. I like the glow though. It's very shiny. Ah, well, I think that's the first time I might have actually gotten a path that actually led to the ending instead of, you know, kind of ending up badly. I think I did that one more time. I think it was with Diamond, I believe. But, just for kicks, we'll just go ahead and see what the other two ways were. Of course, it's going to be leading up to non-friendship, but we'll see in what ways that will be. So we'll go ahead and skip all that. Adding up my fee. So ask him what pro bono work. Ask him if he does pro bono work. You thank him profusely for his offer to help and explain that while your situation has exactly left you very rich, you'll pay him back in glorious friendship, the most infinite of resources. You lay it on thick. He seems like a guy who can appreciate a good deal when he sees one, and you can't imagine a better deal than this. You reach both arms up, waiting for him to scoop you out of this pain plant like the gentle baby you are. Sorry, I don't do charity. Such a shame, too. I was hoping working with an alien might make more of an interesting day than usual. Insert name here. You're not worth it. He turns on his heel and walks away, his high ponytail swishing behind him. Well, that was easy. Friendship is not a currency. Aww. In some places it could be, but that's hurtful. Oh, he just wanted a friend and he just walked away from him like that. Oh, man. I tried. Not really, though. Pro bono work just wasn't apparently the way to go. At least I didn't have to pay him, though. That's something. So, let's see what the other way is. So, no entrapment, please. You tell him you would rather stay away from any and all traps, if that's alright. You mentioned that you think that's the better move for both of you. Something tells you that this guy wants to know what's in for him. Yeah. Probably all the times he said explicitly that, you do have that vibe going, after all. He taps a claw on his chin and looks up at you and down. He takes his time. You try not to blush, no matter how exacting his gaze is. You present a solid case. Your whole look is more than a bit repellent, but it may make the pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective if you still look like you just ran over. Frown. Insert name here. What? Okay. He takes you a second to realize he didn't just say his physical emotive response instead of doing it with his face, he's giving you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try to look as pathetic as possible. Yes, this is really working for me. It's awful. Completely repugnant. 450 pugnancy payment? What? Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulative tactic, no matter which direction I decide to spin it. Insert name here. The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but you do your best to keep it up. You even hunch over a bit and shamble a few meager steps toward him. Great! Yes! That's enough. No need to come any closer. Just back away. Seriously, you smell horrible. Oh, well, I guess it probably has been like forever since I took a bath, I think. So yeah, I can understand this point. Okay then, we'll skip the hygiene and get straight to the best part. Bureaucracy. Stay right there and don't get any of your crusty alien orifices near my decor. I'll go print out our contract and we can move on. Insert name here. Reimbursement for ink. Oh, of course. Re-inkbursement. I like that. You pretend you're a statue while he types things, then prints the typed things, then staples the printed things. His ferret Lucis stares at you with beady interest. You stare back, completely motionless. You wonder how often Gorgor has friends over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen. Read this, or don't. Sign it either way. Okay. It's a standard oh god. Legislature, my god, I cannot say that for some reason. Agreement. Tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular situation. You know, you agreed to submit your testimony to be judged and will accept whatever subjugation you receive. You realize that any potential winnings are to be remitted to me for processing through a legal account before your portion can be dispensed to you. In the event of your culling, I will act as executioner of your accounts. Blah blah, same old business. I'm sure it's the same where you're from. There are stars at each place you are to initial. Insert name here. Shrunken text expense. Thanks for that. Definitely something you can't read, or apparently you shouldn't, even though you should. Get a magnifying glass. Make sure to read fine print. That sure was a lot of stuff that you just got told real fast. I tried. I kind of messed up on a few parts. You were trying to listen, really, but he winked at you early on his monologue, and it was really distracting because you couldn't stop thinking about if you could incorporate a wink into your secret handshake. Maybe. Anyway, regular legal jargon, yeah. Just like all the times you click to say yes, you read the terms and conditions of any old harmless social media app. Yeah, nobody reads that stuff really. That stuff never ends up being relevant. Maybe in some cases, it depends probably, but not really. You show off your exquisitely polished John Hancock as many times as it takes. Excellent. Excellent. Everything's in order then. Are you ready to head out? Insert name here. Oh, like now? Now? You're not ready. Do you look roughed up enough? Will your bones need to go through any more ordeals? What's a subjugulator? Does Tagora... No sweep like the one you're fucking in, as they say. What? Swear jar. Minus 50. I like that. Pardon the languor. Languor. Oh my god, I read two words together and it just didn't work. Pardon the language. It's an idiom. It means it's time to fucking go. Insert name here. Let's watch the fucking language. Yes, please. You follow him out of as apprehensively as you followed him in. As you retrace the path you took not long ago, it occurs to you to wonder where this glorious feat of justice is going to take place, and, like, if anyone is going to subpoena the asshole that hit you. Is that even a thing here? You skip up to the match Tagora's pace and ask, There is no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetuator, of course. Yeah, whatever. It seems prudent to pin the crime on them when the time comes. I will have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. Their blood cast should be sufficient, but if it seems worth it to call that their dented scuttlebuggy, I can certainly do that as well. Bonus for potential frame job. Oh, of course. Of course. That's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that either. Insert name here. You definitely still worry about that, but you nod and keep walking like you're not bothered. You want to match his level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it. Not that you've spent some time with him. It's simple. You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its ass so fast you can feel like ice down your back. You look at Tagora first. He stops walking, and his posture somehow gets straightener. Even his cute little ponytail thing looks more alert. Okay. His words, not mine. I mean, whatever. He's staring at the approach of another troll, a blue guy. You know that means high blood, but not much else about what that entails, aside from what you're picking up from the full hair-on-end cat reaction from old Gorgor next to you. Pleasant evening, sir. Insert name here. His voice gets somehow sweeter and more professional at the same time. You recognize what he's feeling because you felt it yourself the whole time you've been on this godforsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for the busy boy friendship, or business boy. The high blood, however, is not. At first you think he might be chill, because his smell gets huge, and hell if you don't get loving, and hell if you don't love getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself until Tagora shouts to you, "Be cool." Look. It's then that you learn that this guy's smile is not the nice kind. "What's this?" he asks. "Gorgor picked up a little friend." "It's not. We have a working relationship." Insert name here. You try not to let his dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet. It's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. You groan pitifully about all your bones. Oh, right. Your booming drone pursuing business. This, client you have here looks extra shitty. Good luck on getting anything good for whatever this mutant is that you scraped up from the gristle grate. If you take a moment to consider the potential. The blue guy rolls his eyes and keeps walking, elbowing his way right between the two of you on his way past, like you're nothing. Tagora freezes. His eyes stay fixed ahead of him, where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't processed the movement yet, even though he got knocked back a few steps in his wake. He starts shaking. Yikes, that was, tense? You want to say something reassuring to Tagora, but he has the kind of ascended into another plane of existence. Maybe a nice reassuring pat on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood. You put a ginger hand in the mere vicinity of his body and he whirls to face you, eyes narrowed and breathing heavy, not breathtaking. You snatch your hand back fast. Mistake. You. Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what you... 5,000 damages for slide down? Oh man. No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a weird little hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the fucking street. Insert name here. Return of... Okay, I guess that works. He starts laughing all high-pitched and weird, up until he seems to slick, so unflappable. That Gorgor is hard to reconcile with the one pacing back and forth, hollering and grabbing at his face. He's pretty goddamn flapped. Oh boy, you really screwed up, huh? Maybe your busted neck routine was not convincing enough, or too convincing. Either way, you figure out how, now might be the time to bow out. Before the scene really blows up, you tell them so. Your neck is fine. Look, you headbang a bit to prove it. No, a deal is a deal is a deal. Insert name here. He breathes in slowly through his nose. Alright, Gorgor, remember your mantra. Insert name here. He closes his eyes. After an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts that bonkers pace again, so you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an eavesdropping barnacle with really slow legs. Little maniac giggles bubble out in between his sentences. We're headed toward justice, alright? Keep walking, we're seeing this through. I've got a bottom line to uphold. Insert name here. Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer/client relationship can still chance to blossom into something more. You venture a friendly type topic and ask him about his mantra. He stops walking and looks at you like you shat on his Lucis grave. Oh boy. You don't just ask someone what their mantra is. Insert name here. Mantra request, forfeiture. Aw. Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns his stanky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all the hairs he shook out or placed during his freakout, pivots, and turns down the side street. Anyway, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill the terms of our contract. What does that mean? I was hoping this would lead to a more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you. For you. But it has become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. especially now that I will have to consider the significant career setback I just experienced at your feckless hand. So instead of wasting any more time on yours, let's take a shortcut to the same end result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty. Insert name here. Guilty verdict, immersement. Great, thank you. Guilty? Wait, wasn't it supposed to be the other guys on trial? You look around, panic rising in your chest. Oh, don't tell me. You don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting. Yeah, this thing really starts to throw when you do this for a while. Oh, this is bad. You've been so caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight toward the shittier part of town. You know, the part that's all half demolished hives and creepy noises and drones flying around. Drones like the one that turns to notice you when Tagora whistles, snaps his fingers, and points right at your head. Hey, big guy. Over here. Well, these payments are starting to go up a lot. One extremely malformed and unviable troll. Just the way you like it. Insert name here. You shouldn't feel surprised at his betrayal. Maybe, but you do. For a second, anyway. Then you focus on yelling and scanning for a possible debris to hide under. Tagora starts backing away as the drone gets closer. There's a sewer next to the... Another burp, excuse me. There's a sewer the next street over. You probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket. Insert name here. Do specified for bad end. Oh, God. Yeah, I guess that's his bill. And I'm not paying it, so nuts to him. That ain't happening. Ugh, man. Yeah, but I totally just, spit everywhere during some of those things. And that, doing that voice definitely does hurt. For doing it quite, for about, 40 minutes? It does kind of hurt after a while. But, something you gotta get used to. I try to do funny voices, or different voices at the very least. So I gotta think up one for the next guy too, but we'll get to that when we get to that bridge. But that's not bad. I definitely like the first pass a lot better. It was a lot harder to get to, but it worked out, and it had a shining, glowing ending to me, and it was great. But yeah, that other ending just kind of sucked. Getting chased by drones is not a good thing, and then apparently having to pay back a bill that I'm definitely not going to. So he could suck it for that. It ain't happening. So, we'll play the next, part of that volume at some point. But thank you for joining me for this adventure. I'll see you guys for the next adventure. Bye.